Where do you like get your inspirations from? Which is probably a overall
Yeah.
kind of question.
No, honestly, that's honestly easy to answer because I'm like my phone is like stuck to my hand 24/7, and it's kind of bad, honestly. I'm always on social media. I'm always on Instagram. I'm always on YouTube, just looking random shit. And I'm always looking up fashion related stuff. I don't know, but most of my inspiration just comes from like social media or YouTube because I'm always looking up fashion related stuff. Like there's this YouTube channel I've been watching a lot. It's called PAQ, and they're four dudes from the UK, and it's really cool content because they just go out, like style themselves like high end brands or just like they did one with like Target, I think. I could be wrong, or like they do thrifting. So yeah, that's social media and YouTube.
So, well, I mean, like, are you up to date to like any shows or anything? I was
Uh,
wondering, like, if you have any favorite shows recently, or if not, designers.
Shows I don't know at the moment. Designers, uh, I wouldn't say designers is something I go for it. I'm really big on vintage. I don't know if you can see it in my background. I have a bunch of
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
I
And
have a
Max
bunch of
also
vintage.
told me about
Yeah,
like, yeah, your shopping skills.
yeah. So I'm very big into vintage. That's the style I found was my calling, I guess you can say. Vintage was so backstory. In high school, I was trying to find my style, and it was multiple phases. But luckily, senior sorority, I got best dress. Besides that, um, it went from like H&M clothing to casual clothing. I wore freaking bow ties to class, like very extra. And I tried the whole Supreme and Bape, but it was too expensive at the time. And then I started thrifting, and I learned about vintage clothing. So that was my calling. So now I have I personally think I have a great vintage collection related to like all my Batman stuff because I'm a big Batman nerd, as you can tell with the giant poster. But to answer your question, designers, I guess like the high end brand, like I really respect.
Or it doesn't
Like,
have to be high end, honestly.
just like anything.
Any, well, since it's vintage, I guess you could say any specific brands or even designers, yeah, that you personally, I guess, you always lean towards.
That's a good question. I guess for vintage brands, there really isn't a vintage brand out there, but like there are different brands of T-shirts. Like, you probably won't understand what I mean with that. So, what makes a good T-shirt is the quality of it. Back in the day, I have a vintage Joker T-shirt from '89, and the tag on it is called Screen Stars. And if people know about the vintage culture, Screen Stars is known to be like a really good T-shirt because of just the quality of it. So, I guess that I'm a big Nike guy. I love Jordans. I'm trying to grow my Nike SB collection. But I guess that would be the answer for like anything in general. Like anything related to brands and design is just Nike. I'm a big Nike guy.
Do you have any like tips? You know what I mean?
To thrift? Well,
yeah,
it's at
because
the
you
moment
have
right now.
good pieces.
Yeah, at the moment. The funny thing is, none of these up on the wall are thrifted. It's because nowadays it's very, very challenging to thrift because there's so many competitors out there, and people don't really thrift that much. Oh no, they do. But to find like good pieces, they mostly eBay hunt, and that's what I've been doing. I actually bought a T-shirt literally yesterday. But if you want to thrift, I always recommend go in the morning. You're gonna have to wake up at like 7 o'clock, but I promise it's worth it. I recently went thrifting. I found a T-shirt and I already sold it, so I promise it's worth it. And if you go there early, chances are you find the best stuff first. And another tip I could say is go through everything. I spend hours thrifting. I spend like about 2 hours or an hour in like one thrift store, and then I go through everything. Like even if you're in the men's section, like looking at the T-shirts, go through the women's section as well. Chances are you might find something. And I have. Don't be afraid to ask questions. For example, certain thrift stores on Wednesdays, there's always a sale. Sometimes like 50% off or like 15% off or something like that. You just gotta ask the employees like what color is the sale on today. And then another tip is bring hand sanitizer because it's kind of crusty in there. So you make sure you just don't touch your face, especially with what's going on today.
Yeah, exactly.
And then carry cash with you because some thrift stores you might not know that they only take cash. And if you find something, then you don't have cash, and they don't have an ATM, and you're screwed. So Those are my tips, honestly. But emphasize on going in the morning. Definitely go in the morning.
That's pretty cool. I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
Honestly, just like go.
Yeah. I hear
But
you.
honestly, Madison was the one that like put me more onto thrifting.
Really? That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. All right. I was gonna ask like, do you have a specific era? But you kind of already spoke about that basically.
Yeah.
Does music take a toll on you?
Yeah, it does. Music always puts a mood in my day. I rotate different types of genres of music. I go from rap to trap to hip hop to R&B, to I guess what's called soul pop. I don't know what that genre is. For if anybody knows who Crumb is, it's a band. I've been listening to her like nonstop. I listen to the
That
Marias.
was a really good album.
Yeah,
Most recent one. Oh my god.
so good. I saw her live. It was amazing.
Oh.
It was fun. Unfortunately, she didn't play Ghost Ride, but she said she wasn't feeling well that day. But it was all good. But and then who else I listened to? I listened to Maria's again. The Strokes. The Strokes are making a new album. This is like my favorite band, so that's sick. I've been trying to educate myself with old rap, so I've been listening to a lot of Big L, Black Stars, Most Def. I've always been listening to Lauryn Hill, but I don't really know too much about her backside. I just know her music, but yeah, music does take a toll on me. It also puts some inspiration to like my craft as well.
Okay. So, also when creating, do you think, because sometimes people just like shoot.
Yeah.
Would you, how do I put this question? I was going to mention basically how like the atmosphere, the environment can affect the actual videography process, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just an obvious duh. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the next question. What's something people don't know about you?
It's a good question, honestly. What they don't know about. I mean, I don't know. I kind of just put my personality all the time. So people know I'm a big nerd. I talk a lot. I'm big into fashion. I guess people do know about that. I always talk about my freaking comic book collection as well. So, I mean, I'm trying to think. What do people not know about me? Honestly, I don't have an answer because I think I'm mostly just like I'm just me when I'm around like all my friends. So I think they know me pretty well.
I feel that. Watch. Later you'll probably be like, oh, they don't know this about me. It always happens that way.
Yeah.